Hey gents, and welcome to another daily episode of Targeted Loot. Today, your daily farming guide for Sunday, January 24th. In this series, we cover a lot. We got the Targeted Loot map, Dark Zone exclusives, highlights for the weekly vendor resets, and build and farming suggestions as well. This is Shadow Gaming, and if you're new to the channel and enjoy this video, consider pressing the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below, and if not, a thumbs down. Always remember to hit those bell notification icons to all so you never miss a daily morning video. Comment below if you have any questions or feedback. Otherwise, let's get this video started, agents. Alright guys, so starting off with the Dark Zones and vendor reset highlights, which are always in that big bottom left overlay. I always recommend the Rock and Roll Shotgun with Perfectly Extra. That's going to be in the DZ West vendor this week for another few days before it resets. I would definitely pick that one up. And of course the Force Multiplier backpack with Perfect Combined Arms over at the White House. For the Dark Zone loot, I really normally don't recommend farming against, I just recommend farming Dark Zone exclusives. But for aces and eights, I recommend 3-piece aces and eights, and then 2-piece Heraldo Holding, one being a backpack with Vigilance or Composure, and then a Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter on it, and I run Mantis as my primary, and then the White Death or Ekim's Long Stick as the secondary, so that's something you could farm for as well. Over here in DZ South, we got holsters as targeted loot, so the only Dark Zone exclusive holster is the Claws Out, which gives you 500% melee damage, and then also 10% pistol damage as well. It's great for all your shield build users. The only other alternative really is the Forge, I guess, but that one isn't Dark Zone exclusive. Otherwise, you could still farm for the 3 exotics they will drop in the Dark Zones, and that of course is the Waveform holster, the Imperial Dynasty holster, and the Dodge City holster. Kinda recommend all 3, especially Imperial Dynasty holster and the Waveform as well, which can be rewarded at season level 90 for season 4. And then lastly, we got gear system mods in DZ East. Definitely don't recommend with the DZ loot quality, so let's move on to the north side now. Alright guys, north side targeted loot highlights. Starting off with the invaded missions this week, we got Lincoln Memorial, and then Jefferson Plaza, Space Administration HQ, Capitol Building Stronghold, and then Tidal Basin. First recommendation I got up here in the north side would be Walker Harrison Co. at Coney Island Amusement Park. You could farm for the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter. Definitely a good named chest piece to run with on any headshot damage build. It deals, I think, 150% of your last killing blow, so it's a lot of damage. I believe it caps out at 1500% or 800% now. Otherwise, you could farm all the holdings at Coney Island Ballpark to complement a headshot damage build with 2 pieces, like I said earlier with aces and eights, like a backpack with Vigilance or Composure. And you always want these rolled with weapon damage, headshot damage, and then weapon handling. You could go for crit hit chance or crit hit damage, but I personally prefer weapon handling because with a headshot damage build, you just want that headshot damage above 200%, and that's really all that matters. You're not hitting anywhere else but the head. And then lastly, we got Badger Tough and Manny National Zoo. Definitely recommend farming the Zero F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. Great chest piece for DPS hybrid builds. I always like to keep that 170k armor core and then put crit hit chance and crit hit damage as the second and third attribute slots. And if I have enough title cards, I'll put one in the top right, which is the title update 10, one where I use that chest piece with the apartment SMG is really awesome. If not, in the pinned comment below. And then of course, Kinley College is closed. Some of you pick your own targeted loot. Let's check out what we got on the west and east sides now, agents. Alright guys, west side targeted loot highlights, starting off with the gear sets. We just got a couple: Ongoing Directive and Foggy Bottom. Now of course, 2 bleed damage builds I always recommend. First one, you need the Ridgeway's Pride, 4-piece Ongoing Directive, and then of course the Anarchist Cookbook with Perfect Wicked. It used to be the Eclipse Protocol backpack, but that doesn't work anymore alone by itself with a bonus talent, so keep that in mind. And then of course I run that with the Carnage with Perfect Sadist and the Scorpio with Septic Shock as my primary and secondary weapons. And for the second build, I recommend a Badger Tough backpack with Creeping Death, the Vile Mask, and 4-piece Ongoing Directive. Both of those are great builds. Second up, we got a Close Protocol at a Constitutional Hall area. I'll put my favorite fire damage build in the top title card right now. That's going to be 4 pieces of a Close Protocol, Imperial Dynasty holster, and the Golan gear piece for an extra 10% status effects. You want to roll 10% status effects all over the place or skill damage, run it with the Firewall. And then of course you can run it with the Demolitionist if you're running the Vile Mask instead of the Imperial Dynasty holster. For normal targeted loot, we got Bellstone over here at Lincoln Memorial today. If you're looking for that everyday carrier with perfectly efficient, that's something you can farm for, and Lincoln Memorial is a super fast mission that you could run through. But always keep in mind that the Liquid Engineer with Perfect Bloodsucker is a Darkstone exclusive backpack. You can't farm for it outside of the Darkstone. Next up, we got Gold Long Gear at DARPA Research Labs. You can farm the Anarchist Cookbook with Perfect Wicked if you're looking for that backpack piece for the ongoing directed bleed damage build. And then we got Mass over here at Tidal Basin, 2 exotics, Coyote's Mask for DPS builds, and Vile Mask for status effects and skill damage. You could also farm for the Punch Drunk with 20% headshot damage baked into it for your all high-end damage headshot damage builds. But if there is Douglas and Harding, which there is on the east side over here at District Union Arena, I would recommend that over just farming Mass. Next up, Overlord at DCD. If you're looking for that Fox's pair of knee pads with 8% damage to targets out of cover, this is a great mission to run just like Lincoln Memorial. It's really fast, it doesn't have 3 or 4 bosses like Lincoln Memorial does, but it's still a really quick mission to run. And it's definitely worth picking those up. I always recommend every agent have at least 1 or 2 pair of those Fox's pair of knee pads. And then we got rifles over here at the White House. So you got 2 exotics, the Merciless and the Diamondback. The Merciless, you kind of just need something to chill the recoil out with, like 3-piece striker, or putting brace the talon on your chest piece, or you can put weapon handling on all 6 gear pieces. Otherwise, the Diamondback hits really hard in PvE and PvP, but has a low magazine size. What I would recommend though is the named rifles like the Surge with Perfect Spike or the Baker's Dozen with Perfect Lucky Shot. Unfortunately, the Harmony with Perfect in Sync is a Darkstone exclusive though. And then we got MMRs at Bank HQ. You got 2 exotics, the Mantis and the Nemesis. The Mantis you get straight up farm for, but the Nemesis is a quest only exotic. So you're gonna need to get Pluck's blueprint from the Grand Washington Hotel area first and craft it at the White House before it becomes part of the targeted loot. Otherwise, you can't have a teammate share it with you. That's why I always recommend letting your teammates know what you're farming for and vice versa. Otherwise, I would recommend a couple named ones like Ekim's Long Stick with Perfect Ranger and the White Death, which I would roll Boomerang, Rifleman, or Ranger on. Those 2 are great. Last couple we got is Empress over here at Potomac Event Center. I'll put my favorite turret drone damage build up in the top right card now, which is 3-piece Empress, 2-piece Hana-Yu, and the Waveform holster. And then of course you want to run Kinetic Momentum on the chest piece, Force Multiplier backpack, and then of course I run the Capacitor as the primary weapon and the Harmony as the secondary. And then there's 2 named items from Empress. I think there's Caesar's Guard with Perfectly Skilled. And then the backpack is Battery Pack, and that comes with Perfectly Calculated. Last up, we got Providence Defense and Federal Emergency Bunker. You can farm the Sacrifice of Perfect Glass Cannon, amplifying all damage you deal by 30%. But it also amplifies all damage you get by 60%, so you become extremely squishy but very powerful. Big trade-off, but it's up to you guys. Otherwise, let's go check out now what we got on the east side. Alright guys, east side target loot highlights. Starting out with the gear sets, we got Foundry Bulwark over here at Judiciary Square, and just like Future Initiative in Downtown East today, keep in mind that the chest and backpack are Iron Horse Raid exclusive for both of these gear sets. But no worries for Future Initiative or Foundry Bulwark, I got you guys covered. So first off with Foundry, I'd recommend running the Emperor's Guard knee pads for that 1% armor regen, and then throw on some Bellstone Armory for extra armor regen. That's what you're looking for, just stack that armor regeneration on that build for a tank build. And then of course for Future Initiative, I would take an Alp Summit chest piece with Empathetic Resolve, and then a backpack with Safeguard being Alp Summit or Richter and Kaiser. Either way, that's a great healer set as well. And then the other 2 is Strikers of Viewpoint Museum. I always recommend 3 pieces, never 4. 3 pieces is just for the Merciless or LMG builds. It's good for increasing rate of fire and weapon handling, and that's really about it. Strikers is kind of just a dead gear set in my opinion. And last but not least, for gear sets, we got Hunter's Fury at Capitol Building Stronghold, and you guys know I'll put my favorite Hunter's Fury build in the top right card now. That's going to be 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, Death Grip gloves with that extra 10% armor on kill, and the Memento backpack. And I always run that with the Dark Winter and the Scorpio, 3 armor cores, 4 weapon cores, and a skill tier. Or an alternative would be a Sokolov chest piece with Intimidate, or my favorite Obliterate, and then 4-piece Hunter's Fury and the Memento. For normal target loot, first off, we got Hana Yu over here at Space Administration HQ if you want to farm that Force Multiplier backpack with perfect combined arms. That's going to give you 30% skill damage every 3 seconds you land a shot, and it's the alternative to tech support, which gives you 25% skill damage for 25 seconds after you kill your first enemy with a skill. Otherwise, you can purchase this at the White House vendor if you want to, but it's rolled at about 70%, so if you want to farm for a better one, you could try to today at Space Administration. Next up, we got Petrov at Southwest. You can farm the Contractor's Gloves with 8% damage to armor, great on any LMG build or stacking damage to armor. So definitely always have at least one pair of those, and Fox's Prayer as well. Both of those used to be best in slot, and they still kind of are in their own ways. And then the few more recommendations I have up here would be knee pads at Jefferson Trade Center. So you got a couple exotics, Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads, and then of course Sawyer's. You could also farm Fox's Prayer, but I recommend farming Overlord. Otherwise, for the Ninja Bike, that's run and gun. It gives you 25% bonus armor when you vault or cover to cover and instantly reload your weapon. And then the Sawyer's knee pads gives you 1% weapon damage every second you're sitting still, up to 30%. And when you move, it starts to deplete. And then really last, we got backpacks at Grand Washington Hotel. I keep getting this question about the Memento backpack if you guys missed it with the Season 3 rewards. Well, no worries. It's part of the backpack targeted loot now since we're in Season 4. So if you're looking for the Memento or the Acosta's Go bag, those are the two exotic backpacks in this game. The Memento probably, in my opinion, being the best exotic gear piece in the game. Definitely the best backpack one. You can just farm it backpack targeted loot, so keep that in mind if you want the Memento with kill confirmed. Definitely farm Grand Washington Hotel today. Alright guys, now let's go check out what we got in New York City. Alright, Agents New York City targeted loot highlights. Starting off with the main highlight, we got SMGs at 2 bridges, so you could farm the Lady Death today, and I'll try to put a open world NYC boss map in the pinned comment or video description below. That'll increase your chances to 10% instead of 7% on heroic and 5% challenging if you farm SMG targeted loot and open world NYC bosses at the same time. You know, that's just like farming LMGs, you know, if it's at Wall Street or the Tombs, it's farming from its main source. Otherwise, you got, you know, the Chatterbox and the Backfire. Both of those you could just straight up farm for. Well, the Chatterbox is a quest only one. I'll put that in the top right card now if you want the video for how to get the Chatterbox in about like 5 minutes or so. And then always remember the Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives. You cannot farm for them outside of the Dark Zone except for, you know, unreliable ways like named item caches. But what I do recommend for named SMGs in the Light Zone would be the Grudge with Perfect Vindictive, the Safety Distance with Perfect Outsider. Both of those are really good. And then speaking of LMGs, we got those at Stranded Tanker today, so you can farm for the Bullet King and the Pestilence. The Bullet King you never have to reload but has a lower base damage. And then of course for the Pestilence you can get that damage tick to over 1 million per tick, but of course that's based off weapon damage, not status effects. Otherwise, there's a bunch of named LMGs in the bottom left overlay. I definitely would recommend the Good Times with Perfect Fast Hands, the new Reliable Perfectly Optimized, and the Carnage with Perfect Sadist. Those are my probably favorite 3, and the Black Friday is a Dark Zone exclusive, unfortunately. Next up, we got assault rifles at the Tomb. So of course you got 3 exotic assault rifles in this game. The Eagle Bearer is still tied to the Dark Hours raid, unfortunately, but you can farm for the Chameleon with Adaptive Instincts, and if you've gotten the Capacitor or Capacitance from the 5 Summit challenges, then you could refarm it at AR targeted loot. Otherwise you're gonna have to get that from the Summit first, and I highly recommend it for sure for any skill damage build. It's gonna give you 60% skill damage and 45% weapon damage at the same time, fully stacked. Otherwise, the named ARs will be in the bottom left overlay. The Rail Splitter isn't a DZ exclusive, but other than that, all these are not Dark Zone exclusives, and I highly recommend, you know, probably at least half of those. And then we got True Patriot at Civic Center today. So True Patriot has a great SMG build that I originally thought of back in October, and I'll put that in the top right card now. That's 4-piece True Patriot and Sokolov chest with Intimidate and the Memento backpack, and you run the Lady Death with it, and it's really good with the Mop as well as a secondary. It's great for solo, 4-man group, legendary summit, heroic content, just about everything. And really, that's all I recommend today. I mean, these two I would recommend for sure. You know, Rigger's a great gear set for instant cooldowns and giving you skill damage at the same time. And it definitely replaced Hardwired. And for Negotiator's Dilemma, definitely recommend my double LMG build. That's 4-piece Negotiator's Dilemma, the Coyote's Mask, and Grupo Sombro gloves if you're gonna run ARs or SMGs. Otherwise, Contractor's Gloves if you're gonna run the Pestilence or the Bullet King. Either way, it's a great DPS and crowd control build. Alright agents, well that is it for your daily farming guide today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below, and if not, a thumbs down. If you want to become a member for extra support and exclusive perks, you can click the join button below, and thank you so much if you do, and shout out to all my 5 members that have. Always remember to check the video description and pinned comment below for links to support my channel, the merch store, the Discord server, my clan on all platforms, and of course gear and weapon spreadsheets, weekly vendor reset sites, all sorts of useful info for you guys as well. Anyway guys, take care and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Shadow Gaming signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care agents, and I hope you have a great weekend.